For cheap gold, items and other boosts for Diablo 4, visit aoeah.com. Check out the link in the description, you get 3% off with the code ARIAT. Hello and welcome everybody. In this guide we are taking a look at my Immortal Tornado Wolf build, which makes use of two very interesting mechanics, its immortality and unlimited resources. Thanks to its invulnerability, this build is perfect for killing Lilith, and once you are 100% familiar to its function, it's also very useful in hardcore mode. Of course, you can also hang out in the PvP area quite safe, or even practice some AFK farming. However, you shouldn't do this in public parties, or you'll probably get kicked. So only do this in a party with friends who are okay with it. Thanks a lot to Bartek from Poland at this point. He explained the immortality mechanics to me, and he has used it to design a PvP build using wind shear. Conveniently, it's very easy to switch between the tornado and the wind shear build, and Bartek also allowed me to share his build here. So thanks a lot and much respect. First about the Tornado Wolf. In the skill tree, we put 1 point each into wind shear and maul. These two basic attacks are always in my action bar and will be used to activate the invulnerability. Raging Tornado gets maxed out, and we skill 2 defensive buffs, which we will use in an offensive manner. Preserving Blood Howl to increase attack speed, and Innate Debilitating Roar adds 15% more damage. The defensive properties of the skills aren't that important, since we'll make the Druid immortal anyway. For the passive skills, we take everything that increases our damage. Additionally, Endless Tempest is very important, as we are playing the Cataclysm ultimate skill and want to achieve 100% uptime. You may notice that together with the gear, I have got 19 ranks in Heightened Senses. 17 ranks are actually enough, because at that level the skill provides exactly 51% damage reduction, which is doubled by the property described in the text below. Since we then exceed 100%, the Druid becomes immune to all damage, as long as he doesn't pass an area border or transforms into human for 3 seconds or longer. The key passive skill is Bestial Rampage. With the Spirit Boons, we want to increase attack speed and damage, and we also use Calamity and Calm Before the Storm to increase the Cataclysm duration and reset its cooldown faster. In the Paragon system, I play the boards Lust for Carnage, Thunderstruck, Heightened Malice and Ancestral Guidance, with the glyphs Outmatch, Fang and Claw, Earth and Sky, Spirit and Headhunter. If you don't have such a high Paragon level yet, you can leave out all the defensive nodes with Life, Armor or Resistances. As long as the wolf is immortal, they're just superfluous. Let's move on to the gear. We put on Tempest Roar and Mad Wolf's Glee. Both you need to stay in wolf form while running and attacking. On the gloves, we want additional ranks to Tornado, attack speed and critical strike chance or critical strike damage. To make the Changeling's depth aspect work, we temper crowd control effects on gloves and pants. The +7 to wind shear on my pants is actually not necessary for the Tornado build, but like this, I have 1 item less to swap when switching builds. Additionally, we temper cooldown reduction for Debilitating Roar. The Blood Howl cooldown will be short enough yet. Armor, Life or Resistances are basically unnecessary, but in hardcore mode I would still increase the defensive attributes. If you make a mistake, you shouldn't immediately get killed by a trash mob. We also play the unique items Wild Heart Hunger and Hunter's Zenith. This is where we get the extra ranks for Heightened Senses. If we manage to upgrade both items to +7 each, we exactly reach the 17 ranks we need. This could be quite demanding, but alternatively you can help yourself with additional ranks on the amulet. Further, cooldown reduction is excellent, and we also temper additional cooldown reduction for Cataclysm. On the amulet we put the Storm Chasers aspect. We also play the Ring of the Starless Skies and Mjolnir Ring. The latter one doubles our damage and ensures unlimited resources while Cataclysm is active. I would like to have a greater affix on critical strike chance here and at least 2 hits when upgrading as well. However, I'm at about 85% critical strike chance now and still can improve. Finally, Weapon and Totem. We temper the chance to double cast Tornado and critical strike damage or damage to distant enemies. At least you should add enough damage to distant enemies to make the legendary Paragon node Thunderstruck give full 60% damage boost. Here I play the aspect of retaliation and accelerating. On the totem, cooldown reduction and critical strike chance are welcome. You may have noticed that I have shown you 3 different rings. Hunter's Zenith is only used to make the wolf immortal. We switched to the Ring of the Starless Skies afterwards, to gain more damage and skill ranks. The mechanic works as follows. While wearing Hunter's Zenith and having 17 or more skill ranks in Heightened Senses, alternate attacks with the 2 basic skills, to switch form between bear and wolf. Once the quick shift counter above the skill bar shows 6 charges, you're done. The wolf now is immortal and the ring can be swapped. However, always remember that both the human form or changing area can disable your invulnerability, so make sure to reactivate the mechanic whenever you cross a border in the open world. Unfortunately, interacting with objects often forces the wolf back into human form. To avoid having to reactivate the mechanic repeatedly, the transformation to human form must not last more than 3 seconds. For example, after opening a Helltide chest, immediately perform an attack to transform back. As long as you spend less than 3 seconds in human form, the immortality remains active. But unfortunately, this does not work for every case. In some interactions within dungeons, like freeing prisoners or picking up items, you will lose immortality, even if the duration is shorter than 3 seconds. You will become vulnerable even though the 6 charges are still displayed. So before reactivating the immortality, you will have to clear these charges, e.g. by making the druid say something. In the infernal hordes, you need to refresh immortality every wave because of the mod selection. So when playing alone, equip Hunter's Zenith before choosing a mod, and after choosing wait briefly until the quick shift buff has expired. Then perform the transformations quickly. Once you have 6 charges again, you can take your time to swap the ring. If that is just too stressful, you could play Hunter's Zenith permanently, which allows you to reactivate your invulnerability at any time. And the damage is high enough yet, even without the Starless Sky Ring. Unfortunately, the build is not so good for the pits. There we would need as much damage as possible, but we can't change gear at all, so we have to do without Starless or wave our immortality. Up to a certain level you can still run the pits, and with full optimization you might even make it through a level 100 pit. But for out-leveling your glyphs, I recommend temporarily playing a different build optimized for the pit, or even better, getting help from a Spiritborn friend. Everything outside the pit, however, is no problem for the wolf, and the gameplay is very comfortable. The tornadoes auto-target enemies and they deal sufficient damage. Finally, a quick word on the PvP build. Since strong builds can currently dodge many different kinds of attacks, we play Wind Shear with poison damage here. We need to swap some items. Instead of the Ring of the Starless Skies, we use a legendary ring with the Calm Breeze aspect, and we put the Metamorphosis aspect on the amulet, allowing us to become unstoppable by evade. We put on some gloves with the Creeping Death aspect, and also need ranks to Wind Shear on the pants. For PvP, we play the Exploiters aspect here. Weapon and Focus also get swapped. We use the Shard of Veratiel and the Totem with the Moonrise aspect. Here we temper the chance to double cast Wind Shear projectiles and increased basic skill damage. In the skill tree, the points from Tornado are shifted to Wind Shear, and a few other small adjustments can also be made. Check out the planner links in the description. Same applies to the changes in the Paragon system. Hate and Malice is removed and we play Inner Beast instead. We also need to level up 3 additional glyphs, as the build requires Bane, Tracker and Keeper. However, in PvP this build isn't completely immortal. There are some bugged mechanics making a Spiritborn even kill a mage while Flame Shield is active, even though it should grant immunity. I hope you have a lot of fun tinkering and testing. I say goodbye, take care and may the loot be with you.
Follow me.